Tonight we're going to be talking about the solstice. So if you have any questions about the solstice, then go ahead and put them in the comments. I'm going to do my best to look at the, check on the comments while we go. But this is also new to me. It's a learning experience. So you'll get to see me grow as we go through this together. Yay. So let's see. We've got some people here. Emily is here. Thank you, Emily. Cheryl, Danica. Hopefully Danica is good. Charles. All right. This is going to be fun. Does anybody, don't give away the answer, but do you know what the solstice is? And be honest, yes or no. It's okay to say no. That's why we're here, to learn something, right? Yes or no, do you know what the solstice is? All right. While I wait for those comments to come up, let's talk about the solstice. Solstice is, Danica, are you going to come in? Hi, Mike. Thank you for joining. This should be a good show. We're going to be talking about solstice. And anybody who wants to pop in, oh, well, yeah, well, tell him happy birthday. I didn't know it was your son's birthday. I wouldn't have kept asking if he'd said that. If you want to come hop on with me, that would be awesome. I did have a guest scheduled, but unfortunately, he had to change his schedule at the last moment and wasn't able to join us, but he will be on a future show, I'm sure. I know you're watching the replay. Okay, solstice is this Wednesday at 12:24 a.m. Eastern time. Oh, Danica, your son's birthday is on the solstice. Okay, well then why aren't you here with me? Hi, Jennifer. Solstice is on Wednesday, just after 12 a.m. And the solstice, well, actually, I don't want to answer this. We're going to look at what the ancient people saw when they looked at the sky. So I'm going to bring up my nifty solar system scope. Solar System Scope is not a sponsor of this show, but if they would like to be, they can contact me at adamtilted.com. Let's look at the night sky, and I let me share this with you so you can see it as well. And again, I'm a little new to the screen sharing thing, so let me know if you can still see everything. If everything's cool, give me a comment. This is current time in Houston, and we're gonna find the sun. Okay, so there's the sun. And we can see where it is in relationship to the horizon. Okay, I asked for comments for a while ago, and I haven't gotten any. So now I'm worried that I don't have audio. Can you hear me? Say yes, I can hear you, or something. Hi, Kim. Hi, Olivia. Olivia is one of my oldest friends. I mean, she's not old. I'm older than she is, but I've known her almost my whole life. So it's nice for you to join. Okay, let's look at the, hi Melissa, this is the sun. I'm gonna back us up to noon. We're gonna go back, oops, that's the wrong way. Back in time to noon. You like my sound effects? Those are the best parts. Okay. So now, of course, the sun is way overhead. Now, there's only so far I can zoom out. So we're going to have to, look up because it's noon, right? The sun is high noon. Okay. So we're going to watch what happens to the sun as it goes through the year. We're going to see where it is in the sky every day at noon. Okay? Because ancient people would have noticed this. Noon, now solar noon, we're talking about not the noon that we invented, that's 12 o'clock p.m. whatever time zone you're in, but noon used to be what was when the sun was directly overhead. So that they would have noticed any changes in that. So we're gonna go back to January 1st, 2017. And the sun is, hold on. Okay, the sun is right here. I'm going to move time ahead so that we can see where the sun is at noon on each day of the year. So we're not going to see the sun moving across the sky and setting. We're going to see where it is at noon every day. Oh, the join link. Let me put that up there again. Hold on. I should have pinned it. Okay, it's pinned to the top. All right, so let's get this playing. And I'm going to keep checking this box. Can you see that? You can't even see that box, so never mind. I won't confuse the issue. All right, so we're going to move this ahead and we're going to see where the sun goes, where it is at noon every day. Okay, so okay, there's the horizon. So we see it's kind of taking this little wavy course across the sky. It gets high. And notice this is May, June. And now it's kind of dropping as we get into September, October, November, December. Now it kind of goes back up. The solstice is when the sun is at its highest point. It has reached the highest point in that arc before it starts to head back down. This would have been easy for ancients to notice because think about how much more we would pay attention to the sky if we didn't have so many other things to do, right? That's what we do when we go camping. Oh, I think we have Danica. Yeah. Okay, hold on, Danica, because I think now, Danica, I think you can start your video. See if you can. There you are. Yay. Great. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, because I am so helpful on these.
You are. It's always nice to have another
Clueless person.
While I fumble around. Yeah. Now I think I'm gonna have to close. Oh no, I'm good. Okay. All right, so let's go back to what we were looking at just a second ago with the sun.
Cool.
It's still doing its thing. And when the solstice is when the sun gets to the very top or when it gets to the very bottom.
Which means it's where?
So that when it's at the very top, it is the summer solstice.
Oh.
And when it's at the very bottom, it is the winter solstice.
So do different hemispheres of the earth have a different solstice?
Yes.
Oh,
Good catch.
see?
So the southern hemisphere is having the winter solstice while we are having the summer solstice, and vice versa.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what causes this though? Any idea? Did you bring wine?
No, thanks for the warning. Well, to me, it just seems obvious. Like the position of the sun is going to change your weather pattern. But what do you mean? What causes what?
Well, why does the sun move this way across the sky? I mean,
Well,
like why is it so far of a difference? Like why is it down closer to the horizon at noon in the winter than it is in the summer? I know what the effect of that is. That's why it's hotter in the summer. But why is it that way? You know?
not a clue.
Okay, well, this is where we look at the solar system view. And we're going to take a look at the Earth. This is the bright side of the Earth at 11 o'clock. Okay, we can make it noon just for, actually, we're at 2030. That's a little, we're getting a little ahead of ourselves there. So let's come back to our actual time. We'll go back to January again. January 1st. Can you still hear me, Danica?
Yep.
Excellent. And we will back this up to noon. And this, you see that big bright spot, right? In the middle of the ocean.
Yes.
Actually off the coast of South America. That is where the sun is hitting the earth like face on, right? And because the earth is a sphere, then when the sunlight is hitting the part, it'll hit the part that's at the top, but at a glance, right? Because that's at the top of the sphere that's curving. So that's not as intense. That's why it's warmer at the equator than it is at the poles, okay? So we're going to, go back to the bright side, and we're going to watch what happens again. As we do, we're going to do the same thing we did from the telescope view, but now we're going to be watching as if we were the sun watching the earth. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so what's happening? What do you notice?
Well, it's rotating, but it's also, what do I want to say? Shifting, like.
It's got a wobble.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's because the earth spins on an axis, right? But relative to its orbit around the sun, we have that imaginary plane that all the planets orbit in. Relative to that plane, our planet's orbit is at about a 23-degree tilt. Okay, so let me stop this for a second.
So it's tilted.
Tilted. I was hoping you were going to say that. The earth is tilted, just like me. Okay, so here we can see, you can see that the line kind of goes at an angle here, right? Now, this is not precise, but if we look at the poles, we can notice a big difference. I'm going to go back to current time, back to January 1st. And we're going to go up here to the North Pole. Now, the North Pole is in the middle of the Arctic Ocean. Okay, so if Santa Claus lives there, then he's amphibious, which would be awesome.
And where is the Island of Misfit Toys?
That will be revealed in a future episode. We're going to rotate the planet again. I mean, we're going to move time forward again. And this is at noon every day, and you can see how the shadow is moving?
Mm-hmm.
That's because as we rotate, one side, either the northern hemisphere is tilted toward the sun or away from the sun. So when we tilt toward the sun, we're getting more of that sunlight head on. And that's our summer. Meanwhile, the southern hemisphere, they're tilted away. That's their winter. And then at the solstice, it starts to the tilt back the other way. So today is the day with the longest amount of time with sunlight. It's the longest day.
Which would be why it's almost 7 o'clock here in the East Coast.
And it's still light.
Yeah.
Today is the day of the very most light. And so you can imagine that it plays a big part in a lot of celebrations from a lot of ancient cultures. I'm just checking some of the comments here. Thank you everyone for joining. So the solstice was a very important time because it indicated a very important change of season, especially if you're trying to figure out when to plant or harvest your crops, when to start saving for the winter, when to start, when is the best time to breed your animals. When do you need to start hiking south to that beach you found, last time? So that, they didn't have calendars and the sun was the way to do that. So as long as we know there's evidence of people using the solstice as a marker in time. Stonehenge is probably the most famous example because at the solstice on Stonehenge, it lines up with the stones in a special way, depending on if it's the winter solstice or the summer solstice. Okay, so this is a really interesting phenomenon. It does indicate a change of season, although we won't notice. We'll still retain a lot of that heat from when we were face on, because the ocean just holds on to that heat for a long time. So that's why this has happened now, but we still got a long way to go for summer to be over.
Good thing.
Yeah.
So is the winter solstice that's happening on the other side of the world is it the same date that one's one and
yes, it all happens all at the same time, all over the world. So whatever, wherever you are on Wednesday, at 12:24 a.m. Eastern time, you will be at the point where the Earth is vertical to the sun and about to tilt back. And that might mean that the sun might be on the other side of the Earth, which means you're in the dark when it happens. But it happens at the same time for everyone. And so when you do, or when the rotation of the Earth brings you into daylight, you'll have the most daylight that day, because that is the day that you'll be most face on to the sun until the next summer solstice. So kind of it's all downhill from here for the sun.
I've always thought of it's like the beginning.
Yes.
But it's not, is what you're saying.
Well, it depends. It's not the beginning of summer. Most people think that it is. It's actually directly in the middle of summer. Now, if we're talking about summer being the time when we get the most exposure from the sun, our calendar is based on our orbit around the sun, but not really, not scientifically. Because it just, I forgot what I was gonna say. Anyway, we just made up the time to be convenient so that everybody, like time zones, completely made up, and the sun doesn't care what time zone you're in. It's gonna be in solstice one way or the other, all right?
Right.
All right, I wanted to show you from the solar system view what it looks like as the Earth goes around. Now we're way ahead in the future, but it doesn't matter because this is a cycle that repeats itself. We are in April though. I'm not sure if you can see that. Can you see the date at the bottom? Maybe you can.
No. I could before, but I can't see. Like the controls were up, but I can't see them now.
You can
now
see,
they can.
you can
Yep.
see now it
Yep.
popped up. Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure how, I don't know how to expand that part that I'm sharing yet, but I'll figure it out. Okay, so this is April, spring, halfway between summer and winter. And so this is where we're starting to tilt backwards, okay? And that's called the equinox. That's when you have the same amount of day as you have night.
Which is my other son's birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. You have a very
cosmic family.
Yeah, a very harmonic orbital family. So as we watch the Earth go around, I'm gonna take this off. The Earth is gonna be spinning like a mofo. But we can see the tilt. You see that tilt a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, you can see the tilt where it is in April. Now I'm gonna change our perspective a little bit. So now it's December, and
wow.
Hold on, I'm gonna pause it right there. Okay, so it's December, and if we look, I don't know if you can see, it's gonna change the Earth if I click on it, but you can barely see North America. It's like all the way in the dark, and it's at 8:30. Okay, so it's almost that time now, and we're nowhere near dark. So, that just shows because that tilt remains the same. We don't orbit like this around the sun. We orbit like this around the sun.
So why does it look wobbly?
Because as we're looking at, let me stop this so you can see me bigger. Okay, so as we're orbiting the sun, we're at a tilt away or towards, okay? And so we have that same tilt as we orbit. We're not tidally locked like the moon is, so the same side of the Earth faces the sun. If that were the case, then we wouldn't have the seasons. We would just have one side that was scorching hot and the other side that was blistering cold. But since we have this tilt, we get that, some of it is getting a glancing blow, but as it goes around, different parts of it are now this side is facing the sun. The top side is facing the sun. Here. And so it's just like the plants, ooh, we get more sunlight, yay. And then it's like, oh, wait, we're here. Yeah.
So it's really just like all kinds of perfect scenario for it to make most of the Earth inhabitable, the way it's tilted.
Yes.
And without that tilt, we would just would it be uninhabitable?
Well, we don't know. That's up for debate. What would probably happen is there would be a zone that was habitable, but a zone that wasn't, because it was either not getting any sunlight or getting all the sunlight. Because that's the other thing I wanted to show you with the Earth. When this is happening, there are parts of the Earth that don't get any sunlight at all during the solstice. So this is the North Pole. I started to show this before, but this you can see where the mouse is going. I hope you can see the mouse. I'm actually not.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. All right, great. That is the ice sheet. And we're going to move this forward. I'm going to do the same daytime. Actually, no, I'm not. Oh, yes, I am. Whoa. Okay, so you'll see that this part right here, I'm going to leave my mouse right there. Oh, wait, sorry. This part right here never gets any light. It's getting a little bit now because we're getting into March.
But it's just like a glancing
And it went
glow.
months. I mean, this is 17 days a second. And it's still in the dark. Now it's in the dark again, right? So there are parts of the Earth, the southern hemisphere, the same thing. Antarctica, we look at the bottom here, there's Antarctica. You know, there's this little part of Antarctica that never sees the sun for months at a time. I mean, this is August, completely dark. September, October, November. The sun hasn't gotten over to here until January.
Yeah, you know, we lived in Sweden for a little bit, and well, my husband did, and I just kind of traveled in and out. And it was dark by like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some parts more north that were dark by, you know, I mean, they're dark. There are times of year they're dark pretty much all day, or they're reversed. They're like light at night and dark in the day, or whatever it was. But it was like nighttime by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which was a drag.
That is the disadvantage of living at the extremes.
Yeah. That's for sure.
So the solstice literally means, it comes from two Latin words, sol, which means sun, and sister, which means stand still. Because it looks like that's where, if you trace that wave across the sky at noon, it appears to stop in its either upward or downward part. So that's the solstice. Many cultures, this is also midsummer. So Midsummer Night's Dream, Shakespeare was referring to the solstice.
Gotcha. I still can't believe this is, why do we all think this is the start of summer if it's midsummer? I mean, where does that come from? Do you know?
Well, so it fits nicely on a calendar.
Okay.
Really, that's really why it is. It's so that
it's still going to be warm for a certain period of time. And
right. And I mean, it's you know, the calendar we use today is not the calendar that has always been used. In fact, we've been through several calendars through the course of human history. And the one we're using now, I guess, I can't remember now, was based on the, I'm drawing a blank. If someone remembers, let me know. Gregorian calendar, maybe? I don't know. But
sure.
they keep trying to figure it out, and they look like, oh, we have 2 extra days. You know, and suddenly, like, because of the creep, March would be when December used to be. So, you know, it's like creating a calendar has been one of mankind's most challenging things, actually, because we don't orbit the sun in a nice even number of anything.
Well, that I understand because I can't organize my own calendar either.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wish we would just kind of just give up and just, hey, call me when the sun's up for you. Oh, no. Can you still hear me?
Yeah. Why can no one else? Are we talking to ourselves?
I got a message that said that I'm logged in from another computer. I don't know. I'm just not going to leave that alone, and we'll see what happens. So I want to see what kind of questions we have. Oh, Cindy has been to Stonehenge. I've wanted to go to Stonehenge.
She went, but she didn't know. See?
Yeah. Oh, hi, Holly. I'm probably missing some people because I'm looking on my phone. Because if you try to do this and on the computer, no, it doesn't like it.
So, and because I like to derail Adam's broadcast into my own thing, if you watch Outlander, all I can think about are those stones. So, I don't know if you know that story, Adam.
I don't, but I will find out. All right. So Solstice is on Wednesday. It is the day where we have the most sunlight during the day. Also on Wednesday, Mercury is in superior conjunction, which means it is on the opposite side of the sun as us. So let's take a look at that. And we can see there it is.
Got it.
Almost there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Mercury is at superior, that is called superior conjunction.
I'm now singing Schoolhouse Rock.
On Friday, the moon will be at perigee, and it will also be new moon at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Oh, then that's going to be written down in my planner about something with my astrology, pretending I understand it.
Great. Okay, well, I don't feel like we have any more questions. I think we addressed everything. But if you do have a question, go ahead and put it in the comments. And while I'm waiting to see if we have any questions, I want to tell you about a couple of things. First, I'm really excited about this live streaming adventure that I've started, and I really appreciate the support that you, the audience, are giving me by watching. There are two other ways you can help me. One, you can go to my YouTube channel and subscribe, because I need to get 100 subscribers so I can get a custom URL, which will make it easier for people to find my content. Right now it's hard. You search for Adam Tilted, you get a bunch of weird results. Okay, I'm not the one with the Trump face and the pink boa. That's not me. All right. Okay, so I will put a bit.ly in the comments. Danica, maybe you can do that for me. It's a really easy bit.ly. It's bit.ly.
Okay, hold on. Let me get back here. Okay.
And each of these words is capitalized. Adam Tilted YouTube.
Got it.
Thank you. Please go there and subscribe. The second way you can help is to become a patron of the show. It takes an investment of resources to make this show happen. And what I am looking to bring you is a look at what's happening currently in not only our solar system, but in our universe. I want to be able to rent time on telescopes around the world and take images of whatever you want to see. So if you want to see a picture of the Whirlpool galaxy, I want to be able to rent a telescope and look at it, what it looks like right now. And I need your help to do that because that costs money. So you can be a patron at patreon.com/AdamTilted. There are several levels of sponsorships available starting at just $1. And every bit does help, makes a huge difference, and I really appreciate it. Also, be sure to give Bubbler Media a like. I appreciate their support as well. And Danica, what do you say?
Well, I actually am glad I got to do this show with you because of my son's birthday. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a cool, like now I know a little bit more about what makes his birthday cool. So when you go to do the spring equinox, have me back on. So I can make it all fair in the family.
Yes, remind me.
I will.
Remind me. So, can you tell which son, or do you want to keep that private?
Oh no, it's Nolan is the spring equinox, but Fletcher, my baby's birthday, is on Wednesday.
Well, happy birthday, Fletcher.
Thank you.
Excellent. Now, that is the end of the show. I have arranged, with the help of the other Bubbler Media creators, to have a little extra time. Because what I found is that some people join in the middle, at the end, and they have questions, or there are just other things that we want to talk about that came up that we didn't have time to. So I'm not gonna promise any amount of time. We're just gonna see how the conversation goes. I have a couple of things that I wanted to talk about, and we can see how it goes from there. Okay. I wanted us to take a minute to mark June 21st, which is Wednesday. Not only because it's a solstice, but because in 2004, that was when Spaceship One launched. Do you remember that?
No. Wait. No, I don't know if I do.
They had a big.
Is that big? Like,
it wasn't the X. I don't think it was the X Prize, but it was something like that, where you competed to build a spacecraft that would put a human being in orbit and return them safely, of course. I guess that's implied. Was
Lance Bass signed up for that?
I think so. Maybe he's on the one-way trip to Mars. I can't keep it straight. So Spaceship One launched. Now that kind of opened the door for this commercial space industry that has been developing. We see SpaceX and orbital something or others, and okay, you other guys that do commercial space flight stuff, you need to send me a hat or something so I can remember, because I know SpaceX and I know that there are a couple others. Okay, that's it. That's all I have.
I'm still trying to make your Bitly work.
Oh, it doesn't work?
I'm not getting it to go, so.
Let me see.
It's telling me something went wrong, but it could be this something went wrong. It's been known to happen.
Well, this isn't even showing me any comments after you said hi to Holly. So,
Maybe we're not on.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, it says we're live.
Okay, good.
Okay, I did close Chrome. Let's check back in. Is anybody out there? Oh, if you're going to be up early on Tuesday, tomorrow, I guess that's tomorrow.
What am I going to see?
Tomorrow morning, if you are up before the sun, Venus and the moon will be really, really close together. And the moon is approaching new moon on Friday, right? So it is a waning crescent. It's a crescent moon that, as we get towards Friday, will get smaller and smaller until it disappears. So it should be really pretty. If you
so is new moon meaning like it's starting over going to full, or it's gone?
New moon means we can't see any of the lit side. All we see is the side of the moon that is having nighttime.
Didn't know.
Yeah, we see the nighttime side of the moon. And so I'm gonna try to get up in the morning, but we've been having clouds. Seems like every time there's some cool
Yeah, we rained today too.
conjunction, there's some kind of clouds. Yeah. See, Chrome crashed again when I try to. Doesn't like to do with Facebook, so I won't go in there. I don't know if we're live or not. I can't see any
It
comments.
looks like we're still there, but we don't have any more comments.
Okay. Well, thank you, Danica. And thank you, everyone who stuck around for the after party.
And check your bit.ly link when we sign off, because apparently I didn't do it right.
Yes, I will. All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.